What's going on, fellow redliners? Welcome back to another video. We'll start it off with a power slide. Woo! What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another GTR video. We'll go for a quick cold start first. Hopefully it turns on. Not bad if I say so myself. Let's get it out of the garage before the fumes kill us. See you guys in a sec. So after owning this car for 3.5 years, I think it's about time to give you guys my thoughts on the 5 things that I absolutely dislike about this car. There are a ton of things I absolutely love about this car. However, there are 5 really annoying things that really get on my nerve whenever I want to take this car out or whenever I'm driving it. And today, what I thought I'd do is hop on camera and let you guys know the top 5 things I actually do not like about my 2014 Nissan GTR. So guys, let's start off with number 1, but first let's do a quick pull. As we reach 3.5 times the speed limit, of course, in Mexico. Anyways, so let's start off with the number 1 thing I significantly dislike about this car, and that has to be the sound that it makes when you get it out of the factory. The car, as most of you guys know, if you've ever heard a stock GTR rev, does not sound very good, and I'm putting it pretty lightly at that. It's a car with 550 horsepower stock, and it sounds like a vacuum cleaner. I own one, so don't get mad at me. I'm just telling you guys the truth. I think the first mod any guy or girl who owns a GTR should be to invest in a, as we do a quick power slide, invest in a mid-pipe. If you're not going to do a full exhaust, at least invest in a mid-pipe, because this car is so much fun. Because it sounds so bad from the factory. It sounds so quiet. It does not sound like a car that, is a beast. It's Godzilla. It shouldn't sound like that. It's a car with 550 horsepower. Part of that has to do with the fact that Nissan equips this car stock with 4, and yes, I repeat, 4 catalytic converters, and then 3 mufflers from the factory. 2 cats in the downpipe, 2 cats in the midpipe, and then 1 huge resonator in the midpipe, and then 2 other resonators in the cat back. That is absolutely absurd and needs to be switched as soon as the car is bought. So moving right along, the second thing I don't like about this car, and that has to do with the fact that it tramlines. And if you guys are unfamiliar with what that word means, first of all, congratulations, because you must drive in somewhere where the roads are good. And well, what it actually means is that the car gets stuck in the grooves that are built in within the road. So over time, roads get slight dents where cars go over, where the tire tracks kind of cut grooves in the road. And this car, because of the fact that it has such aggressive toe and camber settings, kind of gets in those grooves, and then it kind of slingshots you one way or the other, and you don't know which way the car is going to shoot you to. It's just kind of, wherever the groove is kind of more prominent, it go that way, and you can't really do anything about it. Wow. Fresh pavement here. Oh, love it. Now this is brand new. They actually just redid this road. I'm super happy that it's like this. It won't tramline on perfect roads. It's only on the roads that have been worn over time and have been destructed by years of Arctic conditions and snow and ice and all that. So it's really hard to dictate where the car is going to go, and it's really annoying if someone was to daily drive this car on the highway or on back roads every day. I don't daily drive my car, but I can see how this is a huge nuance to someone that would. Because I'll give you an example. You're driving at, let's say, 80 miles an hour. Let's go with 80 miles an hour. Just cruising on the freeway, hand over the wheel, relax, and all of a sudden you fall in a divot or a groove and you go one way or the other. And you got to get both hands on the wheel, concentrate and not swerve into traffic or the other lane or whatever it has to be. It's really, really annoying. And I mean, it can be resurrected if you get less aggressive tow or camber setting, but that kind of ruins the handling of the car. So I was really, really hoping that, in the next generation of GTR, they can still deliver the same kind of handling and performance, but, fix that issue that, people get with non-perfect roads. And I guess if you live in Florida or California, this is really not an issue. But if you live somewhere in the Northeast or even, central United States like Utah and stuff where they get some snow, you'll know what I'm talking about, and it's really, really annoying. And number 3, but first, a quick power slide. Woo! As the cable gets in front of the lens. The third thing that it's kind of a 2-in-1, and it has to do with the transmission. So to begin, I'll start with the gearing in this car. And, it's a 6-speed dual clutch. And when it came out, it was, the dual clutch to beat. It was unbelievable. Snapped off shifts like there's no tomorrow. And there was really no issues with it. But over time, other manufacturers like Porsche or McLaren have come out with their 7-speed dual clutches, which are not only more economical when you're cruising, but allow you that 7th gear overdrive for highway pulls and whatever. Let's say you're driving on the highway at 80, 90 miles an hour. In this car, in 6th gear, you're churning 3,600 RPMs. And, not only is that not good for fuel economy, but let's put fuel economy aside, it's really annoying. You look down and, there's some drone and whatever, and I can see how annoying that can become if you're, taking this on a longer road trip, or you daily drive and you have, 20, 30 miles of freeway driving every day. That can be a huge annoyance and something you really should factor into. The other thing that the transmission I kind of have to fault it on is it doesn't give you the option to, hold the downshift pedal if you want to switch down the lowest gear available. The GR6 in this car is built in a way that you have to go through each and every single gear, and that kind of dates it a little bit in my book. When you look at, some of the new stuff, you can just hold the downshift and it'll put you in the lowest gear available. So let's say right now I'm in 6th gear. If I want to hop down to 2nd, I have to go to 5th, 4th, 3rd, 2nd, and then I'm finally in the gear I wanted to. And likewise, if I want to go, upshift, same thing. I can't just hold it and then it'll put me in 6th gear. No, I'm in 4th, 5th, and 6th. And that's the end of that. You can't really do anything about that. And I can see, how this could have been overlooked when they developed this car. This is basically a race car built for the street. And if you're not in the right gear, you're 2 gears or 3 gears behind on a racetrack, then you obviously don't know what you're doing and you're clueless. But for daily driving, it can become a nuance. And let's say you want to do a quick pull on the highway, you got to go like that, and then finally step on it. Pretty annoying. All right, guys, so moving right along to the 4th thing, and that has to stem from the fact that the seating position in this car is too far up, in my opinion. Now, I'm sitting the lowest possible. Like, I can't move the seat any lower, and I still find myself looking vertically downwards on the road. And, that's not a big problem for most cars, but if you're talking about sports cars or supercars for that matter, the lower you are to the ground, the more connected and more engaged you feel. And then you also, are able to better feel stuff like dents in the road or grooves in the road are much, you're close to the ground, so there's less travel between the incident, the shocks, everything. This car is incredibly low to the ground, but because of the way the transmission sits like right behind here, the seats had to be, and the floorboard had to be pushed up slightly too far up, in my opinion, to give the driver a perfect driving position. And I'm just going to compare this to, let's say the Vet, or even look at my Genesis Coupe. Nowhere close to the same cost of this car, like a fraction of it. But in my opinion, that car has a much better seating position. The dash is lower, you're sitting lower, you feel more engaged and more connected to the road. And for future generations of the GTR, I really think that Nissan should really go back to the drawing board and find a way to drop the seating position just that little bit in order to give the driver that much more engagement, that much more fun, and that much more thrill. So we'll start number 5 right after this pull here. Woo! And short shift, downshift here, get in these corners, throw it. Oh yeah, baby. All right, enough shenanigans. Number 5 has to be the fact that this car is not offered with a front end lift system. If you look at all the other cars in a similar class, like McLaren, you look at Ferrari, you look at Lamborghini, they all offer some sort of system which allows you to raise the front just a half an inch or an inch to give you that much more clearance to be able to go over steep driveways, steep inclines, or even a terrible construction job in the middle of the road. With this car, it's such a struggle because this car is probably lower than an MP412C, as low as a Huracan or whatever. It's really, really low, and it doesn't offer anything like that. And we're talking, it's such a nuance to the driver because, well, you either got to find another way around, or you're going to scrape your front lip, and that's just what Nissan says. Yeah, no problem. For me, I live in the Arctic, so summertime here, which is the only time I drive this car, is construction season. So, I deal with a lot of construction in the 2-3 times a month that I drive this car, and it's happened where the lip from the new road that they're laying and from the old road is so high that if I go, I will just completely tear off the front lip on this car. And what ends up happening is I have to make a U-turn, go find an alternative road to be able to clear that. It would be so much more convenient and easy for the driver, the end user. Just click a button, raise that lip up just for 30 seconds that you need it, and then be able to clear that object, drop it back down. No problems, no worries. Wish Nissan would have thought of that. And boys, I know I said this is a top 5 things I dislike about this car, but honorable mention number 6 has to be the fuel tank capacity in this car. This car, if you're out in Mexico driving with the boys, having a good time, will get abysmal fuel economy. And I'm not talking about fuel economy. If you're looking at a car like this, fuel economy shouldn't be a concern. But what should be a concern, in my opinion, is the range between fill-ups. Now, if you're cruising on the highway, it'll get like 15, 13 miles to the gallon, whatever. But if you're hooning on the back roads in Mexico, it will, I kid you not, do 3 to 4 miles to the gallon. I shit you guys not. And what that means, on a full tank of gas, you'll be lucky to clip 100, 150 miles of range. Absolutely abysmal. Now, this is especially a problem for me because the best driving road in my area, hands down in my opinion, is just unknown road about 150 miles outside the city. So in order for me to get there, I actually have to fill up 2 jerry cans, fill up halfway there and then halfway back, because there's no fuel stations around there. Like, it's the middle of nowhere and it's just in the mountains, a windy, bendy country road, which I'd love to go hoon on. No one's ever there. And for me, it's so inconvenient to have to fill up, midway through or bring jerry cans that it really puts me off from going there as much as I really should, because it's such a pain. Fill up the jerry cans, fit them back here somehow, go there. I wish this car maybe came, instead with the 19-gallon fuel tank, came with like a 22, 23. Not that it would have made a huge amount of difference, but for daily driving, especially for most people, it probably would have made enough of a difference that this thing shouldn't have even been an honorable mention. Anyways, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, please be sure to hit that thumbs up button, share this video with your friends, subscribe if you haven't already, and I look forward to seeing you guys next video with more GTR content. See you guys later.